All right, I'd like to call to order the Volunteer Coordinating Committee meeting. It is 6:07 on November 14th, 2024. How's everybody doing?
Awesome.
Awesome, good deal. Do we have any public testimony today? Okay, moving on. Did everybody get a chance to review the October minutes? I know you weren't here. Yeah. So we can't approve the minutes. So we'll just carry those over.
You can.
She'd have to abstain.
Yeah, I know. Still have three. I don't have to abstain.
Oh, because it's a quorum of who's here. Okay. Would anybody like to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve October's minutes.
Second.
It has been moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the October. Any abstentions? Oh.
Yes.
I need to remind myself of that. All right, hearing a motion and second and one abstention for Jane Herb. The minutes for October are passed. So we have 3 individuals going for the Parks Board. Seeing that you are all the same 3 individuals who were in your spots prior to today.
I move that we go ahead and skip the interviews for the 3 of them. And unless you want to talk to us, Matt, skip the interviews and recommend that all 3 of them be put forward to City Council for approval.
And they go in the same position, 7, 8, 9. I second that motion.
It has been moved and seconded that Jill Gust be moved forward for position 7, Matt Lawyer be moved forward for position 8, and Lisa Sajeka be moved forward for position 9 for the Parks Board. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none. Any abstentions? Hearing none. It has passed that, all in favor. Did we already do that?
Yeah, we just
Okay.
we forgot discussion, but
Discussion?
it's too late now.
Any discussion? Okay, so it has been approved and moved forward, and everybody's going on to council. Jill, Matt, and Lisa, thank you for all that you do. We're happy that you'll be hopefully staying, unless Shaney has a wild hair and says no on the council. Or
Thank you guys for all you do.
Thank you guys so much for everything, and thanks for coming out. And now you guys can go home and snuggle. Not with each other.
With your cat.
Thank you guys.
With your blanket.
You could stay if you want. We're not.
Yeah, you can
kicking
stay
out.
if you want. All right, and we have, moving on to traffic safety, bikeways, and pedestrian committee openings. We have 2 spots for that. And Mr. Dempster, if you'd like to come to the table. It looks like you're returning.
Yes, several times. We were trying
Did
to
you-
figure out when I was first on it. I think it was 2006.
Wow.
Thank you for all
Thank you
those
so
years.
much for everything.
Yeah, but it wasn't the same committee. We changed names a few times.
Sure. Well, David,
I
if
don't
you,
know what you'd like to. What do you want to know?
I would love to know what brings you back.
I don't know, sense of responsibility. You've got to contribute somewhere. I'm getting too old to do the physical stuff, so this just it does require physical stuff. On the committee, I'm and this is totally unofficially, kind of one of two bicycle-oriented people, Hirsch Sangster and I. And so I have been in more bike rodeos, bike training events. And one of the things that makes this committee different than all of the others in Kaiser is we actually give things to the public, helmets. And so we buy them for about $12 to $14 a piece. And we ask for a donation when we give them to kids, which is, okay, so for $5, which makes you a lousy businessman. But we found back about when I started that giving them away, which we could do, we found them all over the city, the skate parks, everywhere. And that most people can come up with $5, less than a pack of cigarettes nowadays. And but we do give a lot away. Just give them but we decide either the police make a recommendation, they spot a kid without a helmet and say, call him or go get him. Or we decide when we're working with groups that that's what we're going to do. So we've given them to the school district, we've given them to the elementary schools, where they said, like, we have 5 kids who probably can't afford helmets, but they'd ride their bike to school. So we just go down and fit them. And we fit the helmet, we don't give them away, because if they don't fit, then they aren't worth anything. So we've been doing that in bike training and bike rides and stuff. And so we have to keep an inventory and do orders. We have an account that's kept by the city of Kaiser of money that the city of Kaiser has never put anything into. They're holding it for us. So people donate. We give it to the city. If we buy helmets, then the city buys the helmets with that money. So it's never cost the city anything, or the taxpayers anything. Okay. Since they've changed the name to traffic, we spend more time it used to be called the Bikeways Committee, so if you wonder. We did a lot. We still do all the same things. But now most of our issues seem to be around speed and pedestrian and bicycle stuff. And with the new change in laws at ODOT, that the cities must take into account non-motorized transportation, bikes, scooters, wheelchairs, walking, must take that into account in their planning. We hope that there'll be a change in emphasis in traffic here in Kaiser instead of everything aimed at automobiles. Anything else?
Any other questions?
Yeah. Are there any plans for any more of the, I'm not sure what you call them, but those bike repair stations? Because I know we've got one out.
We've got 3 out, 2 or 3. No, not any current plans. Right now, again, a lot more of our time is spent on traffic lights and flashing beacons and stuff. We do have, the bike repair station light that's outside here, yes. Yeah.
I had, since you have a lot of experience with all your years, and thank you for that, just some questions about like how you guys interact. I know your bike, right? But motorized scooters and things like that. I've
Yes.
seen just like this uptick in kids not really wearing helmets and even adults going pretty fast. So I didn't know if that's like on your guys' radar or
Yeah.
is there something kind of on
Yes,
mission?
but, well, one of the things, if you're on a committee and get to hear all this all the time, is that perceptions, mine also, of what's occurring on the street, not always correct. So I would suspect that kids probably aren't really speeding any more than they ever were. I mean, I don't see any increase in it.
Okay.
I'm not approving it, I'm saying I don't think it's changed. And I don't think people are driving faster in Kaiser over the last 20 years, okay? They were driving fast when they got here. I thought it was,
I feel like the motorized scooter, do we know like what they're,
there are a bunch of, well, you could bring the police in. If you, well, you could come and listen to them when the police department talks to us about it. There are different levels of scooters and speeds and motorized bicycles. Outside of the fact they're almost impossible to catch. And plus, they don't always show up even on radar, which means now you haven't got any proof. It looks like he's speeding,
yeah.
you know, but unless he does something stupid like drive up on the sidewalk or drive down River Road on one, which in my mind is kind of stupid because it's so dangerous.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of it, but that's not the big issue. The big issue is cars doing,
Too fast.
oh, we had one this week for Park Meadow. People are speeding, they're doing 50 miles an hour, and well, I'm sure they are, although it's a 25. But, we go down and look at it, or we'll put a speed monitor on it, and and in the last 2 or 3 years, we haven't found an unusual number of speeders anywhere. So when you look at Park Meadow, which is 25, what do you expect to see? Well, the police won't do anything until it gets to be 35. Now, if you're walking on Park Meadow or Dearborn, anywhere, Chamawa, when somebody goes by you at 35 and you're about to cross, it looks really, really fast. If they're doing 25, it doesn't look slow. So most people, on Park Meadow, we've done this repeatedly. We find most cars drive somewhere between 20 and 35, although it's a 25. So they're pretty hard to catch to give them tickets. And they may not be doing that. The average will turn out, like on Park Meadow, will turn out to be like 24 miles an hour. All you need, yeah. Now you always have somebody who went through Park Meadow at 80
Whoa.
every week.
Gee.
Or they go down between River Road, between Lock Haven and McNary Estates. You have somebody doing 80, 70, 80, 90, but you can't, it's hard to catch them. You have to be there that moment. And there's only one of them, so.
I think Jane has a follow-up question.
Thank you, Chair Filardo. Yes, I do. I wonder, I'm not so concerned about like an uptick in speeding, but do we have any statistics on injuries? And are kids on these motorized scooters getting injured more than
No.
kids used to or anything? Well, that's
Nothing's showing up on the accident. Okay, there's nothing showing up on the police accident reports. All we have is stories. And it's kind of hard to act on that.
okay.
I don't know, and then the solution to it's a lot different. I mean, if a guy's on a motorized bike and he's doing, 18 miles an hour? Motorized bicycle, yeah.
My husband has one of those, and he's
You do?
pretty fast.
Well, you can get different levels, and so you can get, I know some of them that'll go, almost 45 on a bicycle.
I worry every time he's out riding because
Yes, you do.
cars.
Make sure he rides somewhere safe.
Are there any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You can come to a meeting, we do this every.
Thank you for the invite.
Don, do we need to vote one position each? Okay.
Tam, she come up.
You want to do that first? We need to hear from both of them. Okay, come on down, Tammy. My brain is not working very well today.
It's winter. I'm a bear.
I know, right? Well, welcome.
Thank you.
And could you please tell us why you'd like to be on the Traffic Safety, Bikeways, and Pedestrian Committee?
I have wanted to be on that committee for several years and keep coming back. Being part of SCAT, Salem Kaiser Area Transportation meetings and going through all of those processes has given me a lot more education where that's concerned. And that's where I would be able to be a little bit more effective now than before because I have that skill sets and knowledge now. And like David shared, concerns on all the motorized scooters and that kind of items. They are starting to track some of those with ODOT. With Salem Police Department, I'm not sure about ours. So they are starting to look at the data, but there's not enough to look at yet.
Have you been attending the meetings?
Yep.
Thank you, Chair Filardo. So Tammy, do you have some sort of ideas for what you would want to focus on during those, being on that committee and those meetings?
I think the sidewalks and pedestrian areas and the ADA compliance on some of the stuff is where I have the most information because I walk and don't drive. So that would be one area. Also, the bike skills education stuff that we do within the schools would be another.
Turn my mic off. Any other questions? Still turned it off.
What areas are you thinking, like the ADA, and do you have specific areas in the city that you're?
There's some in West Kaiser area that we've been keeping an eye on, some in Greater Northeast. I've not done a whole lot of walking in Gupser because of all the hills and stuff. But there were a couple when I was out talking to people that they shared that might need to be looked at and looking at the Chariots route and all of that kind of stuff.
Thank you.
Anything else? Anybody? No? Okay. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
I move to close nominations.
Second.
It has been moved and second that we close nominations. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Same sign. Hearing none, motion passes. We'll go ahead and vote.
I move that we put forward the slate with David Dempster reprising his position 6.
Second. Just David, yes?
No, both of them.
Oh, I thought we had to do them separately.
You can or you can choose to do, in this case, like the slate, like we did for Parks. Was it Parks?
Are you still going to second that? Or are you going to not second that?
No, I'm not going to second. I think we should do them separately.
Okay, so we're going to vote for position number 6 first. So go ahead and mark whoever you'd like for position 6 and pass them down.
Who was it who moved for closing the nominations? Daisy, thank you.
And Jane second. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. Leslie Reiswick, David Dempster. Daisy Hickman, David Dempster. Jane Herb, David Dempster. And Corey Filardo, David Dempster. Thank you, David. You are going to be put forward to council. Does that work for you?
You asked for one for me?
100% increase.
If I could get a motion to move David.
We don't need
We don't have
one.
to make a motion? Oh,
That's what the vote was.
I just like making motions. Okay, and now we're gonna vote for the open seat. Number 4. Leslie Reiswick, no recommendation. Daisy Hickman, Tammy Kunz, right? Okay. Corey Filardo, no recommendation. And Jane Herb, no recommendation. So with that, the majority of the votes are no recommendation, so the position will be reopened. And I want to thank both of you for coming and interviewing, and Lisa for coming down and hanging out with us. Thank you. And if either of you don't have any further questions about this, then we're going to keep going. Yeah? Okay. Thank you both so much. And the position is going to be reopened due to the no recommendation. So last month, we discussed the exit survey questions for youth positions. If you want to see the attachment. Oh. I think we're missing that page, Dawn. Unless...
Ms. Wilson, was it supposed to be in the packet?
Oh, I see it. Number 7, under city councilor applications, or I'm sorry, under miscellaneous,
It's in the minutes, yes?
No, in the very back page.
on page 29.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay, thank you.
It's more formatted this time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, because none of us knew where it was. Remind me, please, those of you who were here last month, we talked about this exit interview, but we also talked about having it for everybody that was leaving a committee or board. Is that correct?
We talked about that because of the vacancies, the amount of vacancies, is just trying to like see what we can do to keep people engaged and what the reason was for the frequency of vacancies for certain committees.
Is that something we would do, or is that something that individual committees would do? Is that part of their,
I think that the youth counselor liaison, oh, I guess it does say youth liaisons will be emailed the youth exit survey. How many of them do it and turn it back in?
I don't know. During my time, I've only had one youth counselor, and I emailed him, and he did return it. And that was the one that y'all about last time. And my notes from Debbie were that it was the youth counselor. I didn't see the youth liaison in there. But then when I went back to look at the questions, I saw it. It is your process includes the youth liaison. So I need to be doing that moving forward for all of the youth.
Thank you. Okay.
I do not recall a youth counselor submitting it prior to your tenure. That just, what we had thought was probably just, it was one of that time in their life, it's just too hectic with them trying to go into college and stuff like that, that they just don't.
Do you have a sense of what the council might want? Do they want that feedback?
I think, thank you, Chair Flardo. I think we're always looking for feedback, especially, I think we're in kind of that weird place because the youth liaisons that we haven't left yet, so we can't exit survey them, right, if they're still serving. And then there is several that we don't have liaisons for, and we didn't have them. So it's kind of like we don't have a lot of data on that. But I am speaking for me. I think there's a number of counselors that would be interested in that feedback and maybe trying to use that feedback and understanding some of the challenges in getting people to serve. I would be interested in it.
Have we ever done stay interviews with volunteers on committees and boards?
Not to my knowledge. I like stay interviews.
Yeah.
I'm ignorant to that, so can you please explain a stay interview?
Just like, why are you here? What keeps you coming back?
Okay.
How do you like to serve? What is? Yeah. Oh.
It's just like what? No, it's just called a stay interview.
I was just like, I don't know. I'm not in that.
Serve to.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, please don't make something up. We don't need that. Just if it's as simple as you're staying, cool.
Yeah.
And if, Chair Florida, if you do, that may be something to think about and do it halfway through, right? So what is it that you like about it? What's kept you, what would make it easier to participate? What might entice, based on your experience, what might entice you to stay, for others to do it?
I do think that might help the story for the city. Dawn, is it possible to do stay interviews with those serving in like the first year, like after their first year?
Yeah, I think anything's possible. I think that the key for you all is that you need to make a motion to change your process, to amend the process, and then it would go to council for the resolution to be updated.
So, a question that I have, because I think the stay interview is a fantastic idea. I really, really do. I'm not super clear how we interact with the committees themselves. I don't want us to be imposing something on the committees, or, overstepping our bounds. So I'm not sure if this is something that we should go to the committees and update their processes. I don't know.
I think that would be more of like the city thing, because honestly,
I think-
feedback for city councilors is.
And I think you'll have 2 on for the year and 3 off, and then it would be 3 on for the next year, right?
I'm not following. You're talking
Like-
the youth.
Like, for
She's talking
example,
everybody.
Leslie and I would receive our 1-year stay interview, but these guys have been here. They would be the next
Oh, I see what you're saying.
year, right? So that not everybody on the committee is getting it at the same time. So there's a little less to do for everybody. But I think that implementing the stay interviews and the exit interviews for everybody would be best, because it's going to grab all the extra data, in my opinion.
I think it will just give information as if the committees are functioning as they should be, and also appointments, if we're doing a good job on our end of getting people that are really engaged in the community to do these different jobs, and also a good mix of people too, not the same people doing the same jobs all the time. So it's kind of, where I see that could be helpful is like, okay, well, where did we miss with this person, and look at, and that's a city thing, really, honestly. I think we could look at it, but I think the city councilors from, their appointments, they can talk to those people, but there may be people that they didn't appoint that they don't know, like know them personally and know why something didn't work out. And so I think it just gives them kind of a transparent look at the whole picture.
And you can set them up so it's anonymous through
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be,
SurveyMonkey, Google Form. Yeah.
yeah, I think it would be good just to get more feedback on how we're doing things. Good, bad, and different.
So are we saying that we want to have stay interviews and exit interviews for not just youth, but for all the
Yes.
committees and commissions?
Yeah. And we could also ask them like the application process, like how easy was this for you? Like there's very simple, we could make it very simple.
That question, the application process question, I think would be beneficial even for people who were not chosen.
Yeah.
So how are we feeling about the questions listed?
I mean, I think those are, city council is looking for feedback. I think they should make the recommendations on what these things should be. They can look at this and say, we said we would like this, but you guys really make the decision on how you want to handle that. And I think it could be very simple, but I don't know if that's within the wheelhouse of what they could do.
So I am just saying this to bring history. This is not anything, the exit interview, when we were doing that, it was for us, the volunteer coordinating committee, more than the city council, with the intention of trying to figure out how we could get more youth involved. So that's where these
Okay, that's good to
questions
know.
came from.
Okay.
But if that's, additional information that the city wants, then you're right, I think we can send this to them with, these are what we like, what are your thoughts? And do it that way.
I think so. I think the more engagement we have from city councilors on this process, it's just going to seem like everybody's got their hand in it, not just us, That's kind of my thought.
And then maybe put forth to them as well that we feel that stay and exit interviews would be of benefit with the exit interviews for others that are not youth, probably fairly similar to this. The stay questions would be more like what excites you, what keeps bringing you back. But just find out from the city if that's something that they're interested in before we invest a bunch of time in.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't want to bog down a system that's already over inundated. So if there's work that needs to be done on both sides.
Well, I think, absolutely correct me if I'm wrong, Shamie. I think it's worth sending the question, is this something you're interested in? Before we invest a bunch of our time.
I agree.
Because they may say no.
Yeah.
Or they may say, yeah, go for it, and then we can come back and do it.
Yeah, I think that's good. Ask.
Here, number 7, we just want to say
I
and then add something else about does the
So I think what
Separate things.
I would propose, what I'm thinking is send this as is with, would an exit interview for non-youth committee members with similar questions be of benefit to the city council? And do they think that us developing a stay interview questions? So that we can get at least this forward, and then the question of should we keep going and moving on? And that would be my motion if we're looking for motions.
Go for it.
I move that we put forth 7 as it exists in this, and then we also put forth questions to the city number one, exit interviews for non-youth committee members, and state interviews as well.
It has been moved and seconded that number 7 of the miscellaneous section of the volunteer coordinating committee packet be moved forward to the council with the exit interviews and asking if they should be used for all members and if we can incorporate a state interview for all those folks on committees and commissions already. All in favor?
Discussion.
Oh, discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Hearing none. Motion passes. Got a question? Sorry.
Thank you, Chair Florida.
Taller.
And that, unfortunately, was on the record. So I wanted to clarify with Ms. Wilson. So this will go forward and be on the agenda for the December 2nd City Council meeting. Yes?
I don't know, they have the agenda management meetings, but that's, I mean, we would,
It'll be on the draft agenda for discussion, right? So could we then, amongst the group here, somebody tentatively be on standby to speak to that agenda item when it comes up on the December 2nd meeting? And just be watching the agenda because it'll be, I think they would appreciate hearing from members of the VCC about the proposal because it'll come forward. It'd be great in case anybody has any questions. Perfect.
Yep, we'll be here.
And I'll keep watching that as well. And if it's a different night, I'll reach out as well. But okay, thanks. And Don will be gently reminding us as well.
I'll also be here on Monday, so if it can get snuck through.
Probably not on the 18th, but I can kind of front load it during my council report
Okay.
if I get a gentle reminder, but I will do my best.
So this is, can I do anything, can I say something for the good of the order? Okay. For the good of the order, we sent back the CDEC application and decided that we would not be doing that and sent it back to CDC. Did anything happen at the meeting?
I unfortunately was not there. I
Oh,
had
okay.
a family
Okay.
event that night and wasn't able to make it. But I haven't seen any draft minutes yet,
Okay.
and I have not had a chance to watch it.
Yeah, I haven't either, so that was just my question. But we have a work session planned December 5th.
Yes.
Yes. So if folks want to be there for that, we've already decided that we're not doing that. So I think we're going to stand on that going forward. But if anybody else wants to be there, that'd be great. Anything else for the good of the order? Yeah.
I need clarification. So are you saying that the VCC members won't be there? But
I think it's a joint one with all three.
Yeah, it's a joint one. We'll be there.
will be there?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
But we discussed it at
Yeah.
the last is, like there were some good points and then there was some things that was like a little concerning. So I think that probably should have hit us sooner so that we could have had more people engage in that. Because I felt like, we showed up for meetings. I think Emerson and yeah, Daisy weren't there. So I think if we would have had a little bit more heads up, we could have got more engagement from this committee. That's just my thoughts, but hoping that, they see it from our lens too.
Anything else? Anybody? All right.
I have a
Yeah,
question.
go for it.
So Parks is the only thing we've got an opening for? Not Parks. Yeah, that one, yeah.
And lots of youth liaisons.
Okay.
Are there applicants, though, for the December meeting?
So it's probably fairly likely we won't have anything in December.
I can advertise for the traffic safety if you, or I can,
Because that's going to be the 19th.
No, that's for the 12th, which is my birthday, and I won't be here.
The 12th, you're right.
Bring you a cake.
Are people saying that they're not going to be available?
No, I can be there.
We historically.
I actually
Very many volunteers.
won't be available because that is gift wrapping night for the Holiday Giving Basket program.
I will
So
not be available.
I think that we should just call the meeting now,
So.
cancel.
Because that just leaves the one vacancy on traffic, and it's not going to affect them if we're not able to fill it in
yeah,
December.
I mean, they should have a quorum. Those members are pretty
Very
active to
active.
support
Yeah.
Pedori, yes.
So I don't know if you need a motion to,
Nope, just consensus.
okay, yeah.
We'll cancel it.
Yay.
Canceled.
I mean, I would come if I wasn't going to be wrapping presents all night long. Yeah.
You could do both at the same time, Corey. It's fine.
All right. Well, our meeting is adjourned at 6:50
Thank you.
Thank
p.m.
you.
Yeah, mine's 5 days after yours.
Yeah, see those December birthdays, super hard.
unbirthdays in June.
Well, I'm from 7 kids, so like, I didn't get